New Year's Eve, so it's December the 31st, 2001, about 8 months after I'd been married. I had to go to the emergency room for something completely unrelated. We have this x-ray, and there's something there, and that's when my adventure started. Now we need a CT scan. You're gonna need a biopsy. You feel like you're underwater, like you die. It's happening to somebody else. You need to see a specialist. And there are malignant cells. I didn't feel anything. At that moment, on January the 11th, 2002, I had cancer. The person I love so much, and I was going to deliver her more pain. Mom, we got bad news. I have lung cancer. Than was imaginable. For whatever reason, it was real important. I tell people I was sick. Just saying the word cancer, I could feel myself beginning to get isolated. I'm not sure I could have survived. You can call and say anything. You can say you're mad, you're sad, you're upset. You think, we're gonna get through this with no problem. Whatever it is, you can talk to me about, but don't. The ground rule is, don't cheer me up because it makes me afraid. The very first day I was diagnosed, I'd written down everything I was gonna be on this journey. And so the choices I made was to be grateful, have them be helpful to me in the way that I needed it. Choices to help the people around me deal with this, not just be alone. Have it be helpful to them, because they're gonna run into someone else in their life that has cancer and will need them too. I get to stand in the face of the most frightening thing and see what I'm made of. I'm going to lead this journey. It just helped me to see this as this great life. I'm going to decide my attitude. I'm going to decide to be grateful. I'm going to decide to be funny. I'm going to share my experiences, try to help other people on the journey, and other people who care about me. I choose to attack it with a certain sense of attitudes that just help me get through the day. But even in this, what seems like an uncontrollable situation, because what I know also is, if this had been my last journey, people are going to have watched how What legacy do I want to leave? And they'll either learn fear by watching me, or they'll learn victimhood by watching me, or you don't develop muscles unless you try toughness. And this is an opportunity to try emotional muscles. Compassion. What happens next is you get a new, very important relationship in your life, and that is your relationship with your oncologist. And you get educated, you get talked about, do you want to try chemotherapy? What does that mean? And I remember thinking, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm really going to lose my hair. And that's the thing that's making me the most upset. This is going to be like the real deal manifestation that I'm sick, is all my hair is going to fall out in 7 to 10 days. I didn't want to look like I was dying. And I've learned now that that's the look of getting well. I brought in the bags to hang, and just close my eyes and talk to the drug. Amazing. Like, I need you to do what you're going to do. Toxic stuff. Just for whatever, it was almost like a prayer or a hope. It made me feel less like the victim of it all. And I was like giving orders and direction to the drug. It just helped me participate. I started to have an allergic reaction to the drug. The next stage was getting ready. We're going to go in between your surgeries, open you up, and take out the lower left lobe. What's life like without half a lung? It was just this giant door I was about to walk through, and everything could be very, very different. Surgeries are scary things, and bad things happen. The night before, and just in case something unimaginable, 30 people at my house didn't make it, and it was just a chance for me to thank them. So many people come in the room, and your nurse could be different every day, and there was like whole squadrons of people coming in, and what was so confusing to me is they all dress the same. And I remember one very nice gentleman comes in and starts, how are you today? And so I started saying, I'm not doing so well, and I start running down my medical. He was the janitor. He was there to clean my room, and he was dressed just like the doctors who'd visited me earlier. I started to figure out about day 5 this how to best be a hospital What can I expect? I started to use the nurse very differently. What things are you looking for? Who might visit me? Is there a way to stagger some of that? And really turning the nurse to my one point of contact. The cancer wasn't just in my lung, it had spread. So I wasn't stage 1, actually I was stage 3, and it was in the lymph nodes around the lower part of my lung. So that led to a whole different place, and same group of doctors, but now my oncologist goes, well, now you visited the surgeon, now I'm going to introduce you to people who do radiation. And then I got zapped for 10 minutes. I did it every day for 2 months. I noticed a real awful metallic taste in my mouth. And then as I started to say I have a metallic taste in my mouth, I noticed that the left half of my tongue was numb. Now it's really serious. I mean, lung cancer is one thing, but it's moved to my brain. You're back to I wasn't stage 1, where it's in its original spot. I'm not stage 3, where it's moved here. I'm now stage 4. Just being profoundly disappointed, because you get used to being hopeful. But he said some magic words that were very helpful. It's really, really small. 3 months after the gamma knife procedure, do a little update on the brain tumor. And the results are good, really good. And the answer that came back was that it's just sitting there. So that means I get a brain scan again in 6 weeks. I'm not afraid. At this point, I don't think cancer's got me, and it will get me. I think I'll be done, and I'll be one of those that goes, yeah, 30 years ago, I went through my struggle. So I got the results yesterday, and he said, it is. The brain tumor that we took care of it's not just sitting there like it was, it's smaller. And then I saw in the report, he actually handed me the report at the end. It said, this is good, and then it says, however, comma. And the however is, looks like there's something new. I want to be done. Just sad, really sad. The cancer's back. They can't operate on this one. And it's in my right lung. They're little and they're everywhere. The good lung. And the next day reported for chemotherapy. And it's 6 to 10 little tiny spots in my right lung. The place I'm finding a center is those list of intentions that I had. Teacher, my list of words that were like powerful to me, truthful. I am all those things and cancer patient. But that's at the bottom. So it's so helpful to me to still be Dianne. And I've got to do that for me. I've got to remember to be Dianne. I got really, really sick. And they immediately put me in the ICU unit. And I had infections and pneumonias. My kidneys began to fail. And for a week and a half of it, I wasn't really aware. I felt like I was locked between an alive place and a dead place, because I was kind of paralyzed with drugs, and thought they were all just really frustrated that I wasn't dying yet. Within a few weeks, I was diagnosed in January of 2002, so we're just at just over the 2.5-year mark. 6 months ago, I came out of the hospital after having that horrible kind of collapse, and real close to I really feel vulnerable. And living with that is the new challenge. How do I make choices that embrace how scary this thing is and not give up and not have the stalker win? I make talking about cancer okay. What is it really? Beginning to view it as a real gift that I get to give people, actually. Because as I've said over and over again, you either have cancer or love someone with cancer, and we've got to do this better than we do it now. The most important thing is I'm Dianne, and I am here, and I'm part of the lives of the people who love me. And what that means for this period of time is that my full-time job is to be the best damn cancer patient I can be. And if this drug that I'm on works for me, and we won't know that for a couple months, it could be. We could put, the pause button on cancer for, and if it works maybe for me, ever. It's a pill a day forever. Very, very hopeful right now. This bottle of pills, this new bottle called Orissa, that was showing such promise for people with my kind of cancer, and it didn't work for me. I've been on another drug, a new drug for this called Alimta, chemotherapy drug. I tolerated it really well, did well, looked like it was showing some response a little bit, controlling things. Things are stable. I had 9 new brain tumors, so that takes my grand total to 20. So that what they wanted to do was to do whole brain stopped working. Radiation. This last 6 months has been the hardest so far. We're coming down to a few options. Do I have to begin to adjust for asking for more? To I'm not going to be cured. I got a husband that's delicious and loves me completely, and a family that would do anything. How dare I not fight? How dare I? And ultimately, it's I know how much I loved, and who you've loved, regardless of time.
How do I want others to experience me? I want to be a lesson. I want people see this is what cancer looks like. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to pretend it's not happening. Because it doesn't help anybody if you pretend it's not happening. When I want to be bald, I'm bald. When I don't want to be bald, I want to be French.
Instantly the worst goes through your mind that, cancer means death.
My friend could not be here tomorrow.
The hardest part was how utterly helpless I felt.
Biggest, scariest wait was, of course, waiting to hear for sure.
She didn't want anybody sort of tiptoeing around the fact that she had cancer.
It was hard for me. I didn't want to tell her how scared I was.
Oftentimes when people get sick, other people really don't know how to talk to them.
Don't try to sugarcoat. Don't tell me things will be fine, because we really don't know that. Be authentic in your worries or concerns or feelings.
It was not all about her.
Even at the lowest point, Dianne didn't just fold into herself and only worry about herself.
She made it easy for me to support her by letting me know that whatever I was feeling was important to her.
She would tell me that just talking to her, being with her, was what she needed, and therefore I didn't feel helpless.
She was still herself. She just couldn't do all the things that she normally did. So knowing that she wanted to participate, knowing that she wanted to be part of our world and with us, helped us tremendously, because you don't want someone you love to just crawl off in a hole and wait for this thing to pass, because it may not.
She kind of came up with a game plan very early on. And her game plan kind of consisted of, how do I want to go through this?
The experience with Dianne has changed my perception of cancer, from one end of the spectrum to the other.
She absolutely embraced the experience the way she embraces life.
She is a teacher at heart, and will use this experience to help lessen the blow for others who might deal with cancer in their own lives.